because there are leaders of tomorrow.
Okay, start.
But we need the parents and leaders of today to take care of the leaders of tomorrow. So we request all the fathers and mothers who brought their kids just to keep them with them. I bring my kids as well. But they know they have to be with them. Right? So that's all I request. The dads and the moms, you brought your kids, keep on bringing them, but just keep them with you, please. Teach them how to listen quietly. You know, dear brothers and sisters,
I'm beginning, so I request you, inshallah, please remain silent. Be mind to listen, inshallah.
one of the things we learn about our deen, اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي.
سبحانك لا علم لنا الا ما علمتنا سبحانك لا علم لنا الا ما علمتنا سبحانك لا علم لنا الا ما علمتنا اما بعد.
And we have because everybody is here to listen. Okay, please take care of your children. We really appreciate it.
Our deen, my dear brothers and sisters, is all based on one important aspect, is etiquette. Deen is all about etiquette. Etiquette with our parents, etiquette with our children, etiquette in the masjid, etiquette in the marketplace, etiquette with animals, etiquette with plants, etiquette with humans, etiquette with Muslims, etiquette with relatives, and of course etiquette with Allah and etiquette with the Prophet ﷺ, his family, his companions. Deen is all about etiquette. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in a beautiful hadith, ما نحل والد ولدا أفضل من أدب حسن. أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. No father has ever given his son a better gift than the gift of etiquette. No father has given his son, or daughter, you could say, child, a gift better than the gift of etiquette. One of the brothers, Moroccan brothers, mashallah, we had good lunch with him today. I remember something about Morocco. My brother, he asked me if I went to Morocco. I didn't go to Morocco, but my brother did. And he told me that one of the things he noticed in Morocco was that when someone does something good, they say, Jazakumullahu khairan, which we all are taught to say, but they add something else. And he said, I didn't understand what they were saying because of just the accent and the speed of what they were saying. He said, I didn't understand. Eventually, he said, I asked someone later on, what do you guys say after you say Jazakumullahu khairan? What else do you say? So he said, we say, Shakarallahu walidak. Jazakumullahu khairan wa shakarallahu walidak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you with the best, and may Allah appreciate and reward your parents. This is something, he said, this is common within our culture. Why? Because parents, anytime we benefit from someone, because of his good etiquette, in reality that good etiquette has been taught to him or her by their parents. So we are making dua for the one who taught you such good etiquette. For example, you do something nice for me. So not only when we make dua for you, we want to make dua for your parents who taught you to be like this. And that is something beautiful that truly exemplifies the hadith, explains the hadith that the best gift that a father can give to anyone is a gift of etiquette. Mother, father, everyone. And from amongst the etiquettes, my dear brothers and sisters, is the etiquette of the house of Allah. The etiquette of gatherings. I love to hear events like these in small towns, small places. MashaAllah, everyone is together. It's a great, nice, homely feeling. And that's beautiful. And in these nice, beautiful gatherings, we also have to ensure, whether it's small masjid or huge Islamic center, it doesn't make a difference, that our children learn from us that there is a special etiquette for the house of Allah. How many of us have gone to the library? Any of you? Or all of you? All of you been to the library, right? We go with our kids, right? You go to the library with your parents? Yes? So, all of these kids, I'm 100% sure all these kids go to the library. But in the library, do we run around in circles? Screaming at the top of the lungs? We don't do that. The library, you don't even have to tell your kids to remain quiet. Because I take my kids, they know the etiquette of the library. I know that in the car, and they see it there, and they always quiet. In the same thing happened at home, he's screaming. But in the library, there's etiquette. How did he do it? He learned that. It's not something he got fitted with in his brain when he comes in that, this library is something different. It's a similar building like any other building. But there's an etiquette, there's an expectation you have created, and as adults, we make sure we follow through that, and they model us. And they say, Baba and Mom, when they go to the library, they remain quiet, so we got to remain quiet too. And mashallah, you have order in the house. Everyone can quietly leave. That same, no one is saying don't bring kids to the library. You have to bring your kids for reading time and this thing and that thing. But just ensure that they follow etiquette. Same thing with the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How are our children going to learn how to pray? How are our children going to sit and listen to the talks if they don't come here? We got to bring them here. But at the same time, they have to learn that this is the house of Allah. There's expectations here. This is how we act. This is how we dress. This is how we pray. This is how we serve. When we have open house events, non-Muslims come. I'm sure you brothers have here as well. Oh my God, you should see how they come. None of the Sharia doesn't apply to them. But they will ask 10 times, am I going to say anything wrong? Please let me know. Am I supposed to cover my head? Am I supposed to cover my shoulders? Am I supposed to cover my fulan? Am I supposed to say something? Am I not allowed to take pictures? They're old men, old women, youngsters, they're always like, what is the etiquette of this place of worship? Please let us know. We don't want to be disrespectful to your place of worship as non-Muslims. So we as Muslims, if we don't respect our place of worship, we're going to do that. So this is something for all of us. That when we enter, we may keep the places as sanctified. When we enter the house of Allah, we should feel we're in a special place. It's a meditation room. Of course, this is the best place for salah, best place for meditation, best place for everything. So I wanted to just make that as a prelude. I don't want anyone to think that, you see my brothers, I'm going to be very frank. The parents who come with kids, they're tired of taking care of them at home. We want to enjoy a little bit of the evening. Man, we're tired of taking care of these people. To let them roam around, it's at least a little stress off of our minds a little bit. And then the other ones who don't have kids, they get super duper irritated. And they say, oh my God, they're elders, and they say they get so irritated by that. So then the mothers and the fathers of those who have kids, they don't realize that they made a mistake. They get what? They feel vilified. They feel dishonored. How dare you say that to me? And shaitan creates unnecessary problems all the time in masajid all over. And that's not like children are not supposed to be the means of fighting and arguing. It's supposed to be the means of love and muhabbah. So let's all do our part. When you see a child crying, don't scream at the mother. Help them out. See, what can I get you? Did you see an air hostess how they act when the kid is acting up? Have you all seen that? Right? I'm amazed at the ikram, ikhlaq, and whatnot. They'll go and they're trying to figure out. They don't say get off the plane. Your child is screaming. They'll come up with different ways of how to talk to the kid and calm him down. So as parents, maybe your kid is not here today because he's in college or older, you don't have little kids. When you see someone whose kid is crying or running around, don't be harsh. Because one day you also had little kids. Remember those days. And one day you were also a little kid. And if someone screamed at you, pulled your ear, you would never come back to the masjid. So let's never become the means of some child never coming back to the masjid. Let's never become the means of some child saying, I don't want to ever go back. And literally, that's part of my talk today. Because that happens too often in our places of worship. Where you have this crazy imbalance. You have people who don't have any etiquette running around the place. And then you have people who are the enforcers of the etiquette. But unfortunately, they don't have the etiquette of enforcing the etiquette. Did you get what I'm saying? So what happens is that, what are you trying to do? You're trying to bring them closer to the deen, right? If you scream and shout at them, that's not going to work. A brother I was speaking to right now, he's a psychiatrist. And married with 3 kids. He's mashallah, a very good friend of mine. But he looks young. He's a young guy. He's 30s, but he looks, mashallah, really young. He's got 3 kids. He plays basketball as well. He said he wore his long shorts of below his ankles and beyond that as well. I don't know what they call them, not exactly shorts, something else. Right? And he had his full length, loose baggy shirt on top. He might have even had his kufi. And he went to go pray salah. This is about a couple months ago. He said one of the uncles at the masjid just started staring at him like this. And he's a doctor, psychiatrist. He's like, he said, okay, this is crazy. I'm not going to speak, I'm going to go up to him. Assalamu alaikum. He's asked him, what's wrong? What's going on? He said something like, I look like someone you resemble. I look like Malik, no, what's going on? What are you thinking about? And he's like disgusted. He's like, I can't even talk to you. This is the house of Allah. Look how you do. So he was telling me, he said, man, if I was a kid, I would definitely never go back to that masjid. And maybe think about not even going back to other masjids. Because the way I'm being labeled, I'm being judged, I'm being looked at like I've done something, the biggest sin under the earth. When in reality, I had myself covered. I was going home from the gym and I said, let me at least pray salah. In this day and age, a youngster was coming when we pray salah, alhamdulillah. But the way it was dealt with, unnecessary. And on top of that, that's not even haram. And the people, I mean, I told you I'm friends, so be ready for stuff. A lot of people who scream and get mad like this, guess what's happening? This is a reflection of their own frustrations with their own kids. Because their own kids are not nowhere near the masjid. So they're so angry about that, and they don't know what to do about it. So anyone who they see also come to the masjid, they're remembering their own kids. And then that anger is deflected upon this poor innocent kid who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Sitting in another talk, on a Saturday night, I was giving a talk. Brother was sitting, like these kids sitting in the back here. Now like the uncles are sitting in the back. Behind the kids, in the middle of my talk, an uncle gets off, the back wall, comes, and this 16-year-old kid is listening to my talk, and the uncle comes, grabs the back of his pants and does it like this, right? Pulls it up. The kid got shocked in his life, like, what in the world just happened to me? He has no idea. Innocent kid. He's like, what just happened right now? Right? And the uncle just goes back, he says, right, I got so old. He didn't even explain. He doesn't understand. He spoke with a thick accent today, but I don't think he even understood what just happened to me right now. And then the imam was the younger brother. He went up to him, explained to him, I'm sorry, it seems like your pants were a little low-riding. It seems like your lower back was being exposed. Okay? So that's why he stood up and he came and, did what he did. Brothers, I'm looking at it, when I'm talking about the issues I'm seeing in front of me. This is the exact reason why kids leave Islam. This is the exact reason why people don't want to come to the masjid. Because the way they get treated. That is not the method and the etiquette of teaching people etiquette. We need to be taught etiquette first. And then we can teach others. What do we see? The Prophet ﷺ. There's no one who knows more about the sanctity of the house of Allah than the Prophet ﷺ. There's no one who respects the house of Allah more than the Prophet ﷺ. There's no doubt about that. Yet you have a new guy, a new person, a Bedouin who doesn't know. And the masjid is not like this, no carpets, no distinct walls, no distinct lights, nothing. It's in a sandy area, a Masjid al-Nabawi, like in Madinah al-Munawwara, sand everywhere. And there's just a simple few pillars and a date palm tree leaves on top. Where is the masjid starting? Where is the masjid ending? Not very clear, no doors, nothing. This man comes in, he doesn't really know what's going on. He needs to go to the loo, he needs to go to the bathroom. He thought, okay, this is probably the outdoor area, and he started urinating. You all have heard this hadith. He started urinating into the sand that will absorb it, of course, so don't apply it to the masjid. There's very different reasons of how that took place. But nonetheless, it was part of the nearby or demarked area of the masjid. He didn't know that. If there's anyone who should have, caused a World War III, he would have been dead. What are you doing? But the Prophet ﷺ, when he saw the Sahaba stood up to go stop him, he said, stop. Let him finish. It's too late now. Two reasons the ulama are right. They say if someone is urinating, it's already begun. To stop him now is going to cause him pain. It's going to affect him long term. Don't do that. Number two, if you stop him and he tries to back off, what's going to happen? The urine is going to spread all over the place. So let it be contained in that area. He said, let it. SubhanAllah, the Prophet of Allah is looking, and the man is relieving himself. He said, let him finish. After he completely finishes, the Prophet ﷺ knows of that. Now, Allahu Akbar, Allah. He's a master of knowing the mizaj and the temperaments of the people. The best diplomat you can get. The best leader. He knows how to control this crowd and how to control this crowd. I.e., you can say now, the old elders who don't have kids who are young, and the young parents who have kids. How to control both of them. He knows the emotions. So he took care of this guy, he told him, he said, don't say anything. Now the Sahaba, you can imagine part of the colors of their faces changing. What's going on? Nabi ﷺ, he said, I'm telling them, okay, explanation. He knows the emotions are raw. We got to get this job cleaned up. We got to clean up. So what does he do? He himself doesn't tell anyone to do anything. He gets up himself and he goes to go clean the area where this Bedouin urinates. Now when the Sahaba see this, what do you think they are? They're not going to just sit back and say, what? They obviously jumped in. Ya Rasulullah, please. No way. What are you doing? So now this whole frustration against this man completely evaporated. And everyone is trying to get the Prophet ﷺ's hands off of this dirty job of cleaning out after the urine of this person. And they got to that end. off of this whole issue. Then the Prophet ﷺ spoke to this man. What does he tell him? قُبْحًا لَكَ وَيْحًا لَكَ تَبًّا لَكَ. None of that stuff. He simply said that these places of worship, they are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're not meant for anything besides the remembrance of Allah. Okay? That's it. They are meant. This man, he hears this. He is so touched for the rest of his life. What he says, I've never seen a person who teaches a lesson as softly, as nicely as this man. I've never seen a better teacher than this. Can you imagine after this incident, would there be another time ever in his life where this man accidentally or intentionally or unintentionally do something like this? Not possible. Dear friends, that is the etiquette when we're instructing people. Shu'aib alayhi salam's long, beautiful advice in Surah Hud. It ends with, إِنْ أُرِيدُ إِلَّا الْإِصْلَاحَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُ. All I want to do is rectify. إِنْ أُرِيدُ. I don't want to do anything but bring rectification, مَا اسْتَطَعْتُ, to the best of my ability. Right? وَمَا تُوفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. And that's what my ustad, my teacher, Mawlana Shukri used to say. That when a person at times corrects someone, we have to ask ourselves, are we angry? If so, for what? Are we angry for Allah or angry for ourselves? Many times say, I made this rule. Why is this not being followed? Come on, have respect for me. And I'm telling you, I'm part of the problem. I mean, I'm not saying you guys, this is me, my own nafs as well. I sometimes find myself later on saying, why did I get that upset for? SubhanAllah, Allah protect me and protect all of us and forgive us if we ever getting angry for ourselves is no good. Especially when we label it in there, getting mad for Islam. When in reality it's getting mad for your nafs. See what I mean? You have to be smart, you got to be able to differentiate getting mad for Allah and getting mad for yourself. Don't try to cover up getting mad for yourself under the garb of getting mad for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So he would say that when you want to correct someone, you have to ask yourself, the end goal, is it to scold someone or the end goal to bring change? What is it? Change. So if you want to bring change, then the effective way is not scolding and screaming at someone. It's got to be holding someone's hand and saying, no, dear brother, take him outside quietly. If you don't mind, can I say something to you? I hope you don't mind. I've got a lot of faults too, and I expect you to find, if I do something which is wrong, I expect you to also let me know as a Muslim brother. Now you already said that. I'm at fault too. I make faults. I'm giving you the authority to correct me. And 50% of the issue is gone there. Already he can put his guard down. He feels relaxed. Willing to listen. Yeah, go ahead, what's up? You know, you might not, you obviously didn't realize, why else would you do that? When you're sitting down, your pants were, low-riding jeans or whatnot, your back was being exposed. Part of your sucker was being exposed. I'm sure you would never want that, but that was happening. I noticed I was praying behind you and that happened. Just want to remind you, you might not realize it. Next time, maybe just get a little bit, different type of, a larger shirt and to cover up your back, and be careful when you're going for ruku and sajda, that your back is covered. Jazakumullah khair, I hope I didn't hurt your feelings. Now, what are the chances of this person actually saying this to you? Right? Much better. As opposed to the first person who comes and just pulls up his pants. Right? That's going to traumatize. I'm almost scared. Like that kid must probably maybe even traumatized about what will happen to me right now. So this is, dear friends, what our deen teaches us. That's what the beauty of the deen. When deen is not within us, we will burn bridges with our own people. When deen is not within us, we will disunite amongst family members. We will disunite within communities. Masajid, instead of places of uniting the forces, will become a place where, unfortunately, people will become disunited. Masajid, instead of becoming a means, a place where people get hidayah and guidance, will become a place, unfortunately, where people are misled. And this is happening, why? When the deen doesn't come. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given all of us something called the nafs. What's the nafs? Many explanations of it, but you can say the lower self, the ego. The lower self, the ego. And this nafs, it comes pre-packed within us. The baseline is called nafsul ammara. That nafs which pushes us and invites us towards sin. When a person upgrades it and works on it, then this nafsul ammara gets upgraded to become nafsul lawwama. And then when a person further upgrades it and works on it, it reaches to nafsul mutma'inna. So nafsul ammara is that nafs which is always pushing a person to things which are no good, no benefit in this dunya or akhirah. When a person makes an effort, it will become nafsul lawwama, which is a nafs that laments and a nafs that will call you out and to say, why did you do that? That was wrong. Your conscience will tell you that I shouldn't have said this, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have looked at this. You're praying salah, you're thinking about stuff that happened. You're raising your hand in dua, you say, why did I do this? That's a nafs al-lawwama, that you have something inside you that is lamenting, that is getting upset about what you've done. That's a really great nafs to have. But it's not the best one, because you still committing sins, but you feel bad about it and repent. The third one is nafs al-mutma'inna, when it is a nafs which is content with whatever Allah has decreed and is looking forward to meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's talk about this nafs al-ammara. This nafs al-ammara will make us do things which are, as I said, are not beneficial to us. So for example, this will say, that look at something. Look at someone or something which we're not supposed to be looking at. And the nafs will tell you there's enjoyment in there. We'll realize there's actually no enjoyment. There's nothing fulfilled besides just, unfortunately, it's like, when you say we should all be calorie conscious, but sometimes you're like, you want to eat something nice. What would you say? If you want to eat something with calories and sweet, eat something good. Right? Don't use wasted calories, useless stuff that tastes horrible, that's stale, and you're just for no reason putting in 1,000 calories, I don't know, something which is not fresh, which is filled with preservatives, doesn't taste any good, for just sugar for no reason, doesn't help. So these sins are no use. They don't get you anywhere. It just feels like a person feels like I'm getting somewhere. Unfortunately, as soon as the sin is done, a person realizes it's nothing I got out of it. It ruins a person's akhirah. Similarly, a nafs will say, it's too cold. How about you just go back into your bed and sleep. Don't go to work today. Or it's too dark at night, too cold, let's not go for Isha, and let's just go to sleep early. And let's skip it. Let's skip our prayer. Isha, don't pray at home, don't pray in the masjid. So this nafs al-ammara is resulting in us missing our prayer. Nafs al-ammara will make us miss our work. Nafs al-ammara tells a young brother who's got a new car, his dad got a new car, and he says, I got my license right now. This is a great weekend to try it out. Let me try it out. What I want to speed at 140, 160. Right? The nafs will say, I want to see how this car drives. I want to really push the, pedal to the metal, and really see how this thing runs. The nafs will say that. And nafs will say that let me, try to do anything that I enjoy, that I feel like I want to express my anger. I'm angry at someone, just tell them a mouthful. In all of these instances, you're going to suffer. A person driving too fast, a person missing his work because it's too cold, a person bad-mouthing or speaking foul language to someone. It could get you a black eye, it could cost you a job, definitely cost you some difficulty in the hereafter. Nafs is like that. Will make a person do things which are harmful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us something called aql, intelligence. That aql guards that nafs and tells that nafs is like, that's why Imam Busayri rahmatullah says, nafs is like a nafs is like a kid running around the place. So the child, 2-year-old, literally doesn't have that level of intelligence, doesn't have the understanding. So what will the child do almost all the time? Alhamdulillah, I have a beloved 22-month-old daughter of mine, right? So we see all the time, as much as beloved she is to me, but she does, obviously she's too young to understand things that are beneficial or harmful. She does things which are sometimes very harmful. Jumping off a chair, jumping off, trying to climb up the highest spot, trying to pick up the shiny knife or whatever. All the time, you'll see as kids, because that's what the nafs is. Shiny, I want to put my hand. Fire, put my hand in it. It's shiny. Shiny metal knife, put my hand on it. Electrical outlet, try to put my wet little teeny fingers inside it. All the time. What to do? The blender's making noise, let me put my hand inside there. Right? This is what kids, all the time, right, are trying to do things which are harmful. That's right there for you. They think it's fun, but you know that no way, you're going to kill yourself like this. Don't do this. Because what do you have that they don't have? You have You know, these Arabs, even today, on top of the ghutra, the scarf that they wear over their head in the Middle East, they wear a black rope around their head. Right? It's a rope. And this rope is called, on top of the ghutra, they call it iqab or iqab. Right? And this iqab, in reality, is a rope that used to be used to tie the knees of the camel when they used to park the camel. And the nomads used to ride the camel, and used to park it, and they used to take a rope and tie the parking brake. So this is like how an engineer puts his pen behind his ears when he's on the job and he's not using his pen. Similarly, these nomads would put the rope on top of their head when they would release the parking brake and move forward. And now, of course, it's a 400 riyal expensive thing to have people go on. Right? So this is called iqal. From aqal means to tie, to rope. That's what the intelligence does. The intelligence is a leash for your nafs. What is it? A leash. So when the nafs says, I want to go do this or that, you pull it. Hey, that's harmful for you. Don't do that. Right? So the way a child will hold his hand, say, no, you can't do that. You can't. Where are you going? Where are you going to jump into this? That's what the aqal does. Aqal stops us from saying, don't do 160, are you crazy? Don't jump off of this fifth stair. You're a little kid, you can't do that. Don't call in to your work and say, I'm feeling a little bit cold, I don't want to come into work. Right? And similarly, don't say that it's too dark outside, I want to go for Isha. Right? So the aqal will, at times, depending on what type of aqal it is, will guide a person from doing things which are harmful. Most definitely the example they gave me besides the salah one, they all apply. The aqal will control you, how you drive, how you jump, how you talk to people. You're so upset at your manager. He said something, you want to give him a mouthful. But you say, no, I'm not. I want to lose my, I think I'm getting paid. I don't want to lose my job right now. And just because I've bent my frustrations into like X, Y, and Z. Right? You can't say that. So the aqal will say, as much as angry as you are, control yourself. Are we clear? So if you have an unbridled nafs, it's going to take you to hellfire. It's going to create hellfire in here. It's going to give big problems. Aqal help it. But the aqal is not the end all. There are things that the aqal can do. Intelligence. For example, the bandwidth of aqal ends something. Right? It goes out of range. Roaming doesn't even work there. There's no there's no towers in that area. And that is when it comes to things beyond this life. What happens after death? Aqal has no idea. He says, the aqal tells you, that's not my department. I can't think. It's like, the old calculators? When you type in something that it can't compute, error. Right? That's what the aqal says. You type in ask Siri, right? What's going to happen after death? I don't know what they're going to say, but you're like, well, no, ask Google Voice. Tell me, what is barzakh? What's munkar and nakir? Right? Where am I headed after I die? Where does my soul go? What is the soul? They won't have it. It doesn't know. Right? It doesn't know unless someone fed it to it, who's got something else that we're going to talk about now. Aqal itself does not know the answers to these questions. Additionally, aqal cannot differentiate between, for example, a bribe and a gift. He says, it's the same thing, man. Come on, give it over here, right? He says, no, man, look at that reason. Yeah, you can't do this. This is a bribe. He says, no, this is a gift. Aqal says, it remains the same thing. Aqal tells you what's the difference between zina and nikah. But you tell me, qabiltuha, everything changes. Then how long does it take to perform nikah? How long does it take? No, my brothers. Not a couple of minutes, not 5 minutes. It takes you less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. Ijab, qubul in the presence of witnesses. You've got 2-3 people, proposal, acceptance, and even if a person didn't say that the mahar is, it's going to be automatically, the mahar is going to kick in. Right? Khutbah al-hajah is good, sunnah. But if a person does it without it, or even just says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, khalas, done. Even if he doesn't do that. Now, I'm not telling you all to get married right now, okay? My point is, that's how quick and simple it is. So someone can say that if it's that simple, what's up? How does that affect my relationship with someone? I want to go out with someone. You tell this brother, please don't go with this sister. Sister, don't go with this guy. Come on, you got to get nikah first. He said, what is nikah? 30 seconds? And all of a sudden it's halal? And besides that, even sitting in the car, just sitting in a private, McDonald's or whatever, talking, you tell me it's not legit, it's dating, it's haram, whatnot. But I just do 30 seconds something, all of a sudden everything becomes halal. Come on. Aqal can't tell the difference. You have a loan document, you have a transactional document, and you have half a line there, something written there, and you're telling me this is what makes it halal, and the presence of it, and that line, if it's not there, it becomes haram? Seriously? Well, no, right? This is whether you have a big, massive cow, I'm slaughtering, I want to make some steaks and burgers, and you're telling me if I say Bismillah Allahu Akbar, this massive carcass becomes halal, I can use the skin, I can use the meat, all sorts, and if I don't say that one word, Bismillah Allahu Akbar, same thing happening, I'm cutting everything's haram, everything is najis. Come on. So the aqal doesn't differentiate between all of these things. It says this doesn't make sense. Like, for example, some sisters will tell you, recently a brother asked me this question 2 days ago, that's why I'm mentioning this. He said his wife told one sister who came at her house and they're praying together. She had a whole bunch of nail polish. He said, Ya Ukhti, what are you doing? You're going to pray? Why don't you did your wudu right now, this nail polish? Take it off, wash it off, and then you do wudu. What does she say? She says, Allah is inshallah forgiving, merciful. You know, I try. I'll do whatever I can. Okay? So what is that? The aql. Aql will say, come on, man. You're telling me 2019, I have to take off my nail polish? Come on. Get with the times. At least I'm praying. At least I'm in wudu. And that's what the aql is. He says, guys, like sometimes I had a procedure done with my doctor or whatnot. I said, you know, I got Tarawih coming, I gotta leave. Please, you know, I gotta get this thing fixed up real quick. Give me the proper stuff. I need to get, you know, stitched up properly because I gotta lead salah and this and that. What are they gonna tell you? They're very nice, good doctors, mashallah. Not Muslims, but say, you know what? Your God is forgiving. Don't worry about it. Just pray like this, you know? And for us, it's like, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. Aql can differentiate between all these things. Are we all clear on this? So when the aql reaches its, you can say maximum, you can't go beyond that. Like what happened with grade. That's when the third thing kicks in, which guides the aql. And that is called the sharia and the nur of sharia. Right? The deen, the wahy, the revelation. That comes and guides. That's the leash for the intelligence. Now, Hitler and Stalin and all the other Mao and all the other horrible tyrants of this past century, some of them were responsible for killing 24 million people. 24 million people under the command of one man. Okay, we're talking about World War II, 88 million. 88 million people. Who are the orchestrators of these wars? Were they fools? Tell me. Were they fools? They were the most intelligent of people at that time. They were the most amazing geniuses of that time. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew how to control crowds. They knew how to manipulate. Before the internet, they knew how to manipulate the minds of the people. They knew marketing before marketers ever came around. Right? They knew propaganda before propagandists ever came around. These guys were experts. They were the most intelligent people. But did that intelligence help them or help the world? It did not. It created massive havoc in the past and is causing it till today. I was in last weekend or 2 weekends ago, not too far from here, in DC area. And I was driving around and all I see is, you know, it's an oxymoron. When you say defense contractors, who's attacking us so you have to defend yourself with, you know, billion-dollar planes? All we see all attack, right? But small defense contractor, and I'm just looking at these buildings, the famous companies that, you know, they're all based out there. These are intelligent people, very intelligent people. The engineers behind this, the people behind all that. But subhanAllah, how many thousands of innocent kids every day, every year, every month, Allahu Akbar, throughout the world are dying because of our arms. Because they buy it from us. We supply it to them. And these people, intelligent people, making it. So aql, when it does not have the reins, can cause huge problems. And what are the reins of that? Sharia and the nur of Sharia. And that's what the prophets came with. The prophets came with the perfect guide to the mind. And that covers all aspects of our life. Interaction with others, interaction with ourselves, interaction with our Lord, interaction with our spouses. When we have the Sharia, you will see happiness between husband and wife. Happiness between parents and children. Happiness between Muslims. Happiness between countries. My dear brothers and sisters, Deen came to give us life. Deen did come to make our life difficult. Unfortunately, again, as I said in the Jum'ah khutbah, we as Muslims, well, Bernard Shaw, he said this, and I have heard converts tell me this today. Convert scholars have told me this. That thank God I got introduced to Islam before I got introduced to Muslims. Otherwise I would have never accepted Islam. Right? So people of the past said this, the people of today say this. I attended a masjid, and this brother, he's all in Sunday school, his kids are all in Sunday school. And I met him. I said, "Oh, assalamu alaikum, how are you? What's this, that?" I started talking to him. He opened up, and he said, "By the way, I'm not a Muslim." I said, "You're here Sunday school, your kids are here." He said, "Yeah, I bring the kids, the Islam teaches good stuff, but I'm sorry. I've just seen such bad character for Muslims, I just can't get myself to accept Islam. Although I want to, but the bad character has forced me to resist accepting this faith. Because of what I experience and I see and I witness at the hands of Muslims." And I think pretty much all of us sitting here probably have had such bad experiences as well. If it wasn't for your faith in Allah, if it wasn't Allah having mercy on you and me, we wouldn't be sitting here. We've all been burnt too many times. You ask the contractor, he says, "The last person I want to build a house for is a Muslim. They're the biggest headaches." You ask a house owner, he says, the last guy I will ever hire to do my work in a home is a Muslim, because they're the biggest negative. You ask a patient, he said, the last guy you should go visit is a Muslim doctor. You ask the doctor, he said, the last guy I want to see, Wallahi, I'm not making this up. My own community and other communities, I've got contractors talking to me, I got house builders talking to me, I got patients talking to me, I got doctors talking to me, I got everyone. And they always say the same thing. That I don't see Muslim customers. Right? It's sad. It's really sad. And we have done, as I said, the greatest disservice to Islam has been done not by probably non-Muslims, done by us. Who are harming the Muslims today? Is it the non-Muslim countries or Muslim countries? The Uyghurs in China. Who are the ones who are the people who stood up for them? And who are the people who stood up against them? Of what? Is it the list of 50 non-Muslim countries, Muslim countries? About approximately almost all of the Muslim countries in the world, almost all, if not 100%, I think besides one, all the countries sign up a declaration. It's so weird. You got 50 Muslim countries supporting the oppression, the unbelievable oppression. If you haven't read it, I advise you to go to the New York Times website and read the details. That was published about 2 weeks ago. On the oppression that has come to light through the leaked papers and the leaked cables of the Chinese intelligence. And they've uncovered that, they've translated it, you can read it. It might take you, like one Imam told me, he said it took me a week to read through it. I said it was just too hard. I'd have to stop. And that's going on right now as we speak. 50 Muslim countries write a letter supporting China. And you have our House of Representatives, besides 1%, 100% of all the House of Representatives this week voted for a bill censoring that and calling out the oppression that's against them. And I think it's going to go to the Senate floor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it succeed over there as well. Right? Say Ameen. So the idea is you have a non-Muslim country, for whatever reason, I don't know whatever, let's leave that out. But the fact that you have 50 Muslim countries standing up and saying, we support you in your oppression of Muslims. What does that tell us, my brothers? That the harm that has caused Islam and the Muslims has come primarily, number one, from within us. All the time. From hypocrites within us. All of the time. Our character has harmed us. All of these things. So now we come to the problem where we at today. You've got the nafs, you've got the aql, and you've got the nur of sharia. When the nur of sharia is dimmed, then all you got left is the aql and the nafs. And even the aql, if we keep on making the nafs bigger and bigger and bigger, then the nafs outweighs the aql, and a person begins to do things based on the nafs, not even on the aql. And that's where we are at today. The people are doing unthinkable things. This whole vaping business, right? It's a cool thing nowadays. Everyone wants to vape, all the kids and whatnot. And now you're seeing people, a 14-year-old in Detroit gets a double lung transplant. Right? A double lung transplant. A 14-year-old. Why is this happening? Why are we doing this in the news? Why are we, the first death it was in Illinois, right, from vaping. What harms of this, we don't even know. It's going to take us a couple of decades to figure out what we've done. But here you go. It is all over. All kids, the most religious backgrounds, whatnot, they're doing it because they're following the nafs. And I said, why am I putting smoke in my mouth? What am I doing to my lungs? What am I doing to my health? Can't think of it. What are the other harmful, horrible things that people are doing? Because they have scummed through their nafs. That nafs has become too strong. Dear friends, if we continue on this trajectory, unfortunately, we are digging a huge pit for ourselves in this world and most definitely hereafter. And as Muslim fathers, mothers who are sitting here, and as young brothers, young adults, we have to start asking ourselves the hard questions. Are we seriously sensible people or are we lost people? When we have the nur to show the world, wallahi, I traveled to South Africa to go study. Like mashallah, one of the here as well. I remember one time, my flight from New York to Chicago, New York to South Africa, the plane got delayed and we had to spend one night in New York. So I came from Chicago and they gave us a hotel in New York and spent the night there. Myself and my two brothers were all studying in South Africa at that time. So the next day, we came out of the hotel to board the buses to go to the airport to board our 747 South African Airways to Johannesburg. Now, I was 16 or 15 years old at that time. And, three buses went. We were on the last bus, and we're three kids. We slept in the hotel at night. And at 9 a.m. we came down, and we boarded the bus. They didn't have to wait for us, but we were the last people to board the bus. Taqriban, or the last 5-6 people. The driver He didn't say Assalamu alaikum to me. He didn't say anything. I have no idea if he's Muslim or not. He just looked at me, looked at us, and he scolded us. And he said, what are you guys doing? He says, you all are supposed to be in the front. If you all are in the back at the end, what's going to happen to the rest of us? You all, you are Muslims. He doesn't know we're madrasa students or whatnot. He's like, you guys are Muslims. You're supposed to be in the front, and the rest are supposed to be following you. If you come at the end like this, what's going to happen to the rest of us? It's been 20 years since that happened, but I can't forget that. Because there's some random bus driver, probably getting minimum wage, poor guy. But he said, Al-hikmah dalalat al-mu'min, hikmah is the last item of the believer. You got to take it from where you get it. And I said, wow. And that's powerful stuff. He schooled me, but it's really important. The people, we've got Noor, we've got the Sharia, we've got the Quran, we've got the method, the lifestyle, the people are dying. Wallahi, I'm telling you, if they knew what we have, they'll go crazy. I was stopped on my trip back one time at the airport, which was very common for me at that time, and in Chicago, and the Homeland Security officer who was interviewing me, asking me questions about my foreign trip. After like 20, 30 minutes of questioning, she said a statement. She said, okay, our questioning is done. I just want to tell you one thing. A lady, in her mid-50s. She said, one thing I really like about your culture, your religion, is the respect you all give to your moms. Why is she saying that? She's 55 years old, she's standing there, probably tired, her feet are tired, whatnot. But subhanAllah, she probably feels that, you know what, I don't get this at home. When I go to see Walmart greeters, you all have Walmart here? You see the greeters, who are they? Old women, old men. Wallahi, brothers, it's just crazy when I see the people coming to shop at Walmart. And these people, Allahu Akbar, they should be, I don't know what to say, they're barely able to walk. And they're going and trying to carry stuff in their bags. And you say, what oppressive nation is this that will do this to their elders? But we have that concept. At least we had that concept. Now with the advent of nursing homes and Muslim nursing homes and people, fighting over who's I don't want to keep the mom. One of my teachers made a nice, beautiful point. He said there was a time when one father and one mother, together in a one-bedroom home and one bathroom, back home in India or Africa or whatever, raised 12 kids without ever asking the neighbor for help. Today, those same 12 kids collectively cannot raise that one parent or take care of that one parent in this old age. They're pushing them like a soccer ball. Please, you keep her. You keep. This happens in my office. Big argument between brothers. What's the argument? I don't want to keep mom. He keeps on telling me to keep her. May Allah never bring this upon me and you all, but parents, may Allah save us from ever punishing ourselves by being disrespectful to our parents. And may Allah in turn allow us to have such children who will regard us as an honor for them in our old age. Say Ameen. Right? So we have this in our deen. But when these people who don't have that, they see what we have, they envy that. They say, we wish we could have. Right? That same aql that says one line in a transaction makes no difference, whether it's halal or haram, the Quran says it does. They say, إِنَّمَا الْبَيْعُ مِثْلُ الرِّبَا. Allah says, they say transactions, buying, selling, is just like usury and interest. It's all the same thing. And Allah says, no, logically it may seem to you the same thing, that I'm making money off of a phone, or I'm making money off of money. Right? I'm making money off of a phone, or I'm making money off of what? Money. It looks to be logically as the same thing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, it's not. أَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعُ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَا. The Nur of Sharia came and said, Allah has made transactions halal, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made usury haram. So you have to have the Nur. Now those people, most people can never get out of this lifestyle. We have a luxury, high-end dealership, car dealership next to our masjid. So we were trying to purchase the land from him. We went to go speak to the guy. I went to his dealership. He has got Maybachs, $350,000 Maybachs. He's got Lamborghinis. Literally, I spoke to him leaning against the Maybach. Right? That's pretty cool. But yeah, I said, man, we had to talk. And what he said, we invited him to the masjid. He came to the masjid. We did wudu. We made, we sat there in the chair, watched us pray Maghrib Salah. And he's about 33 years old. His dad died and left him an inheritance, all of this stuff. Allahu Akbar. What he said next was crazy. He said, people look at me and they envy me. Look at this guy, I'm 33 years old, and I have $3 million, $4 million worth of inventory, at least, within like 15 cars, 16 cars. Each one's $300,000, $400,000 cars. He told me that the selling is just weird. He said, yeah, I sold a Lamborghini to a guy in Madagascar. I was like, so where's Madagascar? How in the world and where are we sitting, right? Just through internet sales. A Lamborghini all the way up there, sold. He said, people look at me and they envy me. That, my God, you own all this? My brothers, this is from the horse's mouth. He says, I live in hell. I live in hell. If only they knew, y'all listening? He said, if only they knew what I went through. He said, I'm a slave. A slave to who? To who? To the banks. He said, I don't have money for this. I am, of course, being financed. And the month I don't make enough sales to make the payments, I'm gone. They've got me by the neck. This is this kafir, this believer is telling me. He says, don't envy me. I'm living in hell. I live in a life of being a prisoner to the banks, to the slave to the banks. He doesn't know, subhanAllah, and today Muslims also don't know that. So they are also leading a life of slaves. They don't realize that if a person were to say, I am going to lead a life according to halal manner, then I'll do business in complete halal manner, you'll see what type of freedom I'll get. Many brothers sitting here say, what are you talking about? Wallahi, brothers, this is Iman. Wallahi, it's Iman. I promise you, one of the brothers who was very close to me, and he's very close to the institution as well, he told me, he has a very big business. And he said, every single month, I borrow money from the bank to buy my inventory, because he buys and sells huge amounts of quantities of food supplies and other things. So he told me that when I went in one weekend, I went for a 3-day khuruj da'wah tabligh. And he said, we slept in someone's basement. There was no even masjid in the area. He said, in the night, one of my friends came up to me, was with me, and took me in khuruj da'wah. And he sat with me and said, brother, Habibi, make your business halal. He said, I'm sitting in someone's basement. And before we go to sleep, we're having this talk with a child and a friend. He said, you're in the path of Allah. Make some tawbah. Get out of this riba. What you doing? Because he knows his dealings, close friends. He said, what are you talking about? He said, yes, this is the time. Ask Allah. Allah will provide. Allah is Razzaq. Don't worry about it. He said, it was just the right moment, the right time. I made dua. Saturday night, Friday night, whatever it was. Next day, Monday morning, he said, I called the bank. I said, and they immediately responded, because this guy's got a huge line of credit. $1 million, $2 million worth of at least sales per month. So they came in to see him. He said, what's up? Can we help you? Can we get you some money? He said, no, I'm calling you to cancel my account with you and cancel my line of credit. That guy said, I got to send a VP to your business right now. VP said, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? You want to commit suicide, business suicide? What, have you got terminally ill? You're going to die of cancer? Why are you doing something crazy like this? Why would you cut off your line of credit? He says, don't worry about it, man. I just don't want to deal with this stuff anymore. No, you have such a big business. What's going to happen to you? He says, don't worry about that. I'll take care of it. I don't know what's going to happen. For now, I know I'm repenting from this. And whatever I told him to cut it. This brother, he stands behind me when I leave always, always, a very close friend of mine. He told me, subhanAllah, Shaykh, I've seen the help of Allah, that whatever sales I was doing with interest, today, it's been 2 years now, he said, literally my business has doubled, right, in revenue. So if I was selling $1 million sales a month, now it's at $2 million. And he said, literally at that day when I did this, I had no idea if I'm going to be able to survive. But I did tawakkul ala Allah. I was sincere in my repentance. I said, Ya Allah, I don't want to war with you by getting involved in interest. You provide for me. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Whoever fears Allah, Allah will get a way out of him. And I swear I'm sure there are brothers sitting here, sisters sitting will tell me similar stories. When you trust in Allah, Allah will do amazing things for you. So this is what happened with this individual. Because the aql is telling you, why would you do something like that? But the Sharia, the rule of the Sharia will say, of course it's what you got to do. So dear brothers, what you have and what I have, the world wants it. They want to have a life of barakah. I studied 1 year in Pakistan. And probably all of you from Pakistan and India have heard of Maulana Tariq Jameel. Everyone knows him. So I studied in his madrasa when it was initially, the first year it was founded, 2001. And in that time, the person who was, until now, the one who built that entire madrasa, funded all the salaries of the teachers, took care of all the expenses, no donation box, no fundraising, this entire madrasa. Okay? He was a chacha, an uncle. So one day, because of being an American student, whatnot, I went, a foreigner, I ended up meeting up with him. Very nice uncle. He sent me in his car. He said, okay, I'll drop you off. Where you need a ride? He said, yes, I'll give you a ride. On the way, he took me to his factory. He has a biscuits factory. He said, "Oh, try out these biscuits. What do you think about it?" He said he has an export business. And this brother has got 70 rooms in his house. He told me himself. 70 rooms. He said, the reason I built a house with 70 rooms is to be able to accommodate students of knowledge and scholars with all their students. He said, my house is a free hotel. Any scholar coming, he says, bring your entire qafila, your entire crowd, and you come and you're my guest for as many days as you want. That's why I built a home like this. So, he took me to his factory, and then he told me, this is from the horse's mouth. He says, alhamdulillah, I've got five factories, and Allah, alhamdulillah, I'm happy. He said, all the fellow industrialists, the big shots like himself, they all tell me, why are you stopping at 5 factories? You have the ability to expand so much more. You've got such great business ethic, business acumen, whatnot. Come on, join us in our textile business, join us at fulan, fulan, fulan. But of course, they're all involved in riba. And he said, in these 5 factories, there's not one rupee of riba. 100% riba free. I have never dealt with riba. Dear brothers, this man, he is what we call an Urdu Angutacha, which means ummi. Right? Meaning he can't sign the signature. He has to use his thumb like this. And I saw him sitting in a talk. I attended many talks of Maulana Al-Junaid where he was sitting in front, all the Jum'ah. And the way this uncle would sit and cry and shake, I've never cried, I've never seen him cry like this. Right in front, his body would be shivering and crying, subhanAllah, listening to the worst verses of the Quran being recited, explanations of Jannah and Jannah. A millionaire, multi-millionaire, crying in front of Allah, and what else? The entire madrasa, 100% of the expenses from his pocket. He says, this is the barakah of not being involved in riba. Allah has given him a soft heart, and Allah is accepting his money for great work. And there's barakah and barakah. So when you have the nur of iman, you'll be able to understand these things. But if we're all about numbers and numbers, and our nur of iman is weak, we can't understand that. Dear brothers and sisters, we are now living at a time when the nur of iman is getting weaker by the day, by the month, and by the hour. And in this time, what we're seeing is that we are happy with our progress in certain aspects. That we came from a 1-bedroom, 12-sibling home to now, mashallah, a 6-bathroom, 6-bedroom home for 2 people. So, right? This is happening. I just saw the homes around this area, how huge they are. And that's getting from where we come from. Alhamdulillah. When my father came to this country, 72, he came with $100 in his pocket. And I'm sure many of you are like that. Right? Your parents were like that. Okay, from that $100, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has just, Allahu Akbar, multiplied it thousands of times. For everyone. You see, where we are nowhere. The lifestyle that we have, 100 years ago, a king did not have this lifestyle. A king of an entire dynasty would not have this lifestyle. And within 1 hour, you can be in Chicago. Within 2 or 3 hours, you can be at the other end of the country. You have on your phone the latest of all sorts of things. You can control the temperature of wherever you want, lights of wherever you want. Turn on your car from another part of the world. Yes or no? From technology, all this, a king didn't have all of this access to 100 years ago. Every one of us has a life more superior, materialistically, than that of a king 50 or 60 or 100 years ago. So these advancements are there. And we are thinking that we're successful or we're doing great because we've got all of these advancements. And because our children are all gotten into the best of colleges, or we're all headed in the best of colleges, like everything's set. But when we look at the moral aspects of it, there is major regression going on. Morality is out of the door. Okay? And there are things, there are children sitting here, there's women sitting here, so I have to be careful what I share, what I say out of haya and modesty from this crowd. But subhanAllah, there's unbelievable stuff going on within this country and beyond. That I'm not too old, but I cannot imagine years ago this type of stuff happening. That I'm going to witness a day like this. When this type of promiscuity is going to become this common. And that's exactly what's happening. The LGBTQ issue has taken such strides within the past 2 decades. We cannot imagine something like this have happened, wallahi, a few years back. What's going on? There's a Pakistani uncle who told me a few weeks ago. He said he came from overseas and he got accepted in a small town, in university in a town called Tyler, Texas. And he said it was like a bus stop town. And he said we all started crying, the young guys with him. He said, where are we? This place is dead. There's nothing here. What are we going to do? Within 4 or 5 days, all those young Pakistani kids, were, in the 70s, early 70s, they got their pictures on the front page of the local newspaper. We have been invaded by gays. That's what the title of the took me. Why? Because in our subcontinent culture, as well as in the Middle East, we hold hands and walk. It's normal. So they put that. They're like, oh my God, you're holding hands. How can a guy hold that guy's hand? And they put it there. These, Pakistanis are like this. Now the same country which did that 40 years ago to someone who just decided to hold their hand, because this is completely normal in our culture. Now, subhanAllah, if you're running for even a simple small town library trustee, they're going to vet you to see what is your opinion about this. And dare you say something, immediately you're going to be labeled as a homophobe. I'm not, by the way, a homophobe or anything. I'm just being frank. It might be someone say, subhanAllah, we say hate the sin, not the sinner. I hate the sin, not the sinner. That's the reality of it. For us, if someone wants to do whatever they want to do, that's the thing. We say don't please force it down our throats. If a person is regarding as a sin as a Muslim, people come. I have to be very clear because we're getting asked about this everywhere. Kids are asking, what's wrong about this stuff? And that's one of the major topics that we're going to be addressing in the winter intensive, inshallah. But this has become slowly becoming very common. Last week, 2 weeks ago, one of the major masajid of our area, major masajid, the imam reached out. And he said, I have come across an issue that I have never come across. He's a well-educated scholar. And he says, I have a very active community member whose daughter has now unfortunately come out. Now, I'm worried about, can we allow her to, what are the rules? Is she allowed to be praying in the sister's section? She comes to the masjid. Is she allowed to go to the women's only girls sleepover parties or not? He said, I don't even know how to deal with this stuff. This is the first time happening. So this is going to happen a lot more, unfortunately. A lot more is going to be happening. If it hasn't already happened, this is it. Fathers are coming. These are regular Muslims. Unfortunately, we're saying, my daughter is wanting a girl to get married with. That's my son's brother. This is happening, my friends. This moral decay is unbelievable. And then on the same note, what else happened? Beyond that, today, depression. Everyone is sad and depressed. You name it, 7-year-old kids. What's wrong, buddy? I'm depressed. What? I didn't know how to spell depressed when I was 7. And you're depressed? What are you talking about? I didn't know this word probably. But that's it. This has become the new thing. You know how many brothers and sisters today are attempting to commit suicide? And many within our city have successfully, unfortunately, committed suicide. Many have hung themselves. Many have put themselves on train tracks. Many have done other unfortunate ways, carbon monoxide, etc. And have taken their lives. 24, 25-year-olds, medical track, dental school, getting matched into residency and killing themselves. Okay? Brothers have come to me and said, I walked into my daughter's house, my room, and subhanAllah, she's a Hifz student, she's an amazing, bright scholar in the Islamic school, she's in karate, she's everything, I did everything for her. And I come home today to see that she slit her wrists. Right? What's going on? This is not uncommon. I'm telling you, these are not random stories I'm telling you. I can go to the Fajr and tell you stories. And I'm just one man traveling. The stories out there are way more than what I know. There is so much depression, anxiety, attempted suicide, and successful suicide taking place. I'm at the barber, and one of the brothers there is also in the barber. He's a restaurant. He runs a burger shop. And I said, how's life? How's business? And he said, it's like I'm like the bartender. He said, everyone comes and shares stories. All the youth are coming and sharing their stories with me. I said, what's going on? What's it? He said, Sheikh, you know what? I need advice. And I said, what's up? He says, you know how often kids come up to me and say, I want to take my life? At a burger place, they're speaking to the owner while eating a burger. I want to kill myself. Do their parents know about this? Obviously not. If anything, the parents say, come on, man, get up, go to madrasa, go to work, go to school, go to basketball practice. They literally will laugh it off. I had an 8 a.m. call one morning. I was sleeping, Sunday morning. One of my Hafiz, he graduated his class like 10 years ago. I picked it up. I said, I don't know what this kid wants. I picked it up. It was a girl's voice. I was like, what? I said, what's going on? And she started crying. My brother had just slit his wrist. He's trying to kill himself. Hafiz al-Quran. Right? What's going on? Because he's had a big fight with his parents. Parents, they don't get along with the kids. Kids, there's just always old school parenting, screaming, yelling, doing all kinds of stuff with the kids. And the kid is just tired, can't handle this anymore. Wants to take his life. He says, I'm tired. I can never, you know how many times I've heard this? I can never make my parents happy. I can never. Whatever you do, they're always criticizing, critiquing. Never happened. That type of lifestyle is pushing the fact that a kid starts off from feeling down, then starts off feeling from very sad, then starts feeling depressed, then starts feeling clinically depressed, then starts having suicidal thoughts, then actually attempts suicide. That's like the last thing. How is this happening within our homes without us realizing? What does that tell us? As parents and as grandparents, whoever we don't have an idea of what's going on in our homes. Dear brothers and sisters, that is a very serious problem today. The parents don't know what the issue is. So what happens? Where is the suicide coming from? Where is this depression coming from? It's coming from the technology. The technology out here is leading to lives in which people are disconnected from everyone around them. So they're leading very insular lives. It seems that we have a house full of people, but the happiness is not there. No one's talking to each other. Siblings feel disconnected from each other. So it's the state that was leading. You can give them the sheets and stuff. Siblings don't want to talk to each other. Parents, they need, subhanAllah, when was the last time we took our son out to eat? Or to play? Or a daughter? One-on-one. Father and daughter. Mother and son. Or mother and daughter. Father and son. One-on-one to say, what's on your mind? Brothers, I'm taking time on this topic because this is a very important topic. 10, 15 years ago, and even now, you couldn't have your son or daughter, or yourself as kids, walking with like two random girls, two random guys. Hey, Pops, these guys are going to be spending the night in my room tonight. What? Are you out of your mind? Who are these guys? They're spending the night in your room? Like what? None ever heard of this. Tonight and every night, our kids don't have one or two, but they have endless people spending the night with them in the bedroom. Through the smartphones, through social media. The access to what type of trash they have as they go to sleep, they have no idea. Dear brothers and sisters, I had a 15-year-old taking one of my Arabic classes in the summer. Sitting right in front, taking notes. Amazing kid. 1 week into the program, I found out that he's leaving the program. I intercept him nicely, says, "Assalamu alaikum, what's up?" At the end of the day, he says, "Oh, I want to talk to you." I said, "Yeah, come into the office, what's up?" "Oh, today's my last day." I said, "What? Why is this your last day? You're such a great kid. You're so amazingly interested. What happened?" "I lost interest." "How did you lose interest, man? This can't be happening." "You really want to know the story?" I said, "Yeah, I want to know the real story. What's up?" What do you guys think he said? He said, "I've become an agnostic." Agnostic is the one who says, "I don't know if God exists." Atheist is the one who says, "I know God exists." He said, "I'm not going to be as arrogant as to say with an atheist, I'll say I'm an agnostic." I told him, "What? When did you become an agnostic?" What does he say? What does he tell me? Huh? Last night. Last night I chose to become an agnostic. Okay, what was he doing last night? What was he doing, guys? Huh? He was on YouTube. Was his parents home? Were his parents home? Yeah, of course. They're enjoying, whatever, dinner or a Bollywood movie or whatever else they're doing. And he's sitting inside his room watching YouTube. So you've got kids who are just watching promiscuity, business, haram, that type of nonsense. That's one group of people, shahawat group. And then you got this group of people who are a little bit intelligent, well-read, 15-year-old kid who's listening to an hour-and-a-half lecture of an atheist. And he's convinced. And where is he? He's sitting at DarusSalaam in front of qualified teachers who can debunk all that stuff. Yet he refuses to ask anything the next day. Because he is so convinced. I told him, "I got you in front of me. Please, here's your pen and paper, I'm going to write. What things did you hear last night that convinced you? The arguments were so convincing that Islam or any religion is false." He said, "Well, for one," and he started naming, and I'm not going to name those things, I got to get answers for them as well, and we don't have time for that. Come to the winter intensive, inshallah, for that. Right? Or listen to online to those topics. So, alhamdulillah, within 15, 20 minutes, those questions were answered. Then I told him, "My dear, this can't be the only reason that this happened. You've got something else going on." He said, no, nothing, man. I said, "No, there's got to be." Then what happened, man? He broke down crying profusely. I had to hug him. I got to get him Kleenex. He supported him. I said, what's going on? Please don't tell anyone. My parents are respectable people. It's not my masjid from other communities. They're well known in the community. Well known in Sunday school. Well known in Jumu'ah. Donors. Board members. But they are two-faced people. They're hypocrites. The type of Islam they practice in the community is very different from what they are at home. Their language is trashy. They're abusive. They cheat. They deceive. All of these things. And he says, I'm just so tired. I am just so tired of this. I am so tired of this type of behavior that I have chosen to leave Islam. Got it? And I knew that was the thing. This was a nail in the coffin. He's basically so upset about his parents' behavior. He wants to leave Islam, but he needs a good reason to. So this now became a logical reason to say, oh, okay, this is why I'm leaving Islam. You understand what I'm saying, brothers? So what is this issue that we're seeing here? Is the doubts that are coming about and the desires are all, number one, going to because of parents and relationships at home not being good. And the way to answer this, number one, is we ourselves as parents have to start modeling good behavior. We ourselves have to start following sunnah in our home. In our character, in our salah, in everything. If we want our children to get up for Fajr, we got to get up for Tahajjud. If we want to get our children to pray Fajr at home on time, we got to start praying Fajr in the masjid. That's literally what it is. We got to be ourselves a notch high. And our kids will follow suit. In Amal. When it comes to doubts, my dear sisters and dear brothers, we need to have answers for them. We can turn it on, say. Yeah, you can turn it on. We need to have answers. Answers. There are two types of doubts. One type of doubt is a doubt that comes out of a genuine objection like that kid had. Oh, did I tell you what happened to the 15-year-old? Alhamdulillah, he accepted Islam again. He completed the program, and then he joined a weekend intensive. A weekend program for the whole semester after that. Alhamdulillah. And he was in the right place. He had basically a heart attack right in front of the hospital, you know? Pretty much. Like, alhamdulillah, he was in the right place. Allah intended to guide him and save him. Do I have a wireless phone? Yeah. I wanted to use that, if that's possible, because I wanted to just stand by the presentation. Yeah. So, alhamdulillah, that person came back. So there are two types of doubts. One type of doubt is a doubt that's based on a genuine objection. Did you get what I said? It's based on what? An objection, a confusion, a YouTube video, a lecture by an atheist. That doubt, you shouldn't say, shh, I never asked this type of question, why are you asking that? No, it's got to be a nail in the coffin of the kid.
Everyone hear me? Not really hearing. Can we go a bit louder, louder? Right, so that type of objection. This is good, sisters, you can hear me? Sisters, can you hear? Okay. It's so boring, all the women left. Okay, so I was saying that those type of objections that are based on something genuine, you need to answer that. And you need to have a scholar answer that. Those type of objections that are based on nothing but a doubt and a whisper from shaitan. You're praying salah. In the middle, you're enjoying the tilawah of the shaykh. All of a sudden, shaitan comes and says, God doesn't exist. Now you shouldn't say after salah, shaykh, I think, does God exist or not? You are giving too much attention to shaitan by even coming and asking him that type of question. Are you guys getting me what I'm saying? These type of horrible questions, randomly a person gets waswasa about Allah or Rasul. Don't text me or text someone to say, I'm confused about this. If there's a reason for confusion, okay, share me the reason. If you randomly just got up one day and started thinking about things like this, then say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This is an attack of shaitan. And all you gotta do is wash up, pray 2 rakat salah, and cry to Allah and say, Allah, I'm slipping, falling, stop me, and shaitan is attacking me. قُلْ رَبِّ أَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ هَمَزَاتِ الشَّيَاطِينِ وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ رَبِّ أَنْ يَحْضُرُونِ. This ayah of Surah Mu'minun. Read this ayah or A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That's it. If it's based on a genuine question, then get a scholar to answer it. Dear brothers, let's not be orthopedic surgeons. Let's not be general surgeons. Let's not be a dentist and start doing stuff on our kids. When they come to you with a tough question, Let's not act something we're not. Let's not, oh, I can fix this bone. I can fix your teeth. What's going to happen if I start doing stuff for any of us who are not in the profession? We're going to cause major damage. So do not answer questions that we don't know about or don't know how to answer. Okay? Refer them to a scholar. Get them to speak to a scholar and get that answer. They're not going to do that. Look at this kid. He was in the madrasa and he was walking out. If I hadn't spoken to him, he wouldn't even ask me this question. What do you think is going to require for a child or a son or a daughter of yours to speak up to a scholar? What do you think? When are they going to open up? Tell me. What is required for someone to open up who's got questions? He's got to have rapport. He's got to have a relationship. He's got to have a friendship. You can't randomly say, I'm going to give you a phone number from a scholar in Alaska, call him. He'll give you an answer. Or someone in Sudan, he'll answer you. No, wait, why? Why should I do that? He doesn't want to even get answers. So there's no reason for him to go out of his way or her out of her way to ask that. They need to have a relationship beforehand. So that's what I'm talking about right now. When our kids, from this age, we need to ensure that they have a personal relationship with a scholar. They can text anytime, right? They can talk to them openly. And that's so important for all of us sitting here. As adults, as children as well, we need to have relationships. What was the second thing? Lustful desires. And becoming prey to that. The solution to that is going to be gatherings of dhikr. Especially what I would suggest. Number one, reciting Quran every day collectively. Hey, I want you to memorize surahs, and we don't know ourselves how to read Surah Fatiha. It doesn't work like that. We have to sit together and read. Number two, don't just recite Surah Quran. Do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The power of dhikr. Saying La ilaha illallah. Right? This is the most powerful thing. Saying La ilaha illallah, let's say 100 times. Ya Allah, ya Nur, 100 times. I'm telling you, I started this with my kids. On my 5-year-old, when I drop him off to school, we do dhikr in the car. He loves it. Right? But this is something, we're doing it so you get accustomed to from a young age. And you enjoy it and you focus on the nur of this stuff coming into your heart. Allah's name, Allah's name. And if you are interested, at the end of the talk, whoever wants to stay, we can do some dhikr together, if you're all interested. But this is what I highly recommend, is that at home, do dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dear brothers, everyone listens collectively to music. Everyone watches movies together, Netflix, everyone, people, inshallah you all don't, but I'm just telling you, people do stuff like that, just in case you don't know. But what about the remembrance of Allah? Say, it's bid'ah to say Allah's name together. Since when has this become fard ayn to watch a movie together? Fard ayn to watch a movie, Bollywood, Hollywood together. But you say, let's take Allah's name, bid'ah. Shame on us for saying stuff like that. All the haram is going on. How do you expect anything but trash coming out of this kid's mind when all the thing that's going into his ears is trash? Did you ever hear this rap music, the techno music, and all the other horrible stuff that's out there? I mean, it's unbelievable. You can't sleep if you hear it. It's nothing but Satanism. Right? That's what it is. So we need to replace that with the remembrance of Allah. We need to replace that with studying the disease of the heart and the remedies. Like Imam Ghazali's books, for example. And attending gatherings that are powerful. When I tell you all to come visit Chicago, you keep on saying, why? Why can't we just have it as live stream? MashaAllah, we can, listen to the talk. And then soon we're going to have Hajj also live stream. Let's go around over here. Right? Because we need environment. People have been asking me online classes. Yeah, that's great. But there's nothing like environment. When you go to a place that is built on ruhaniyah and spirituality, you walk in 50%. I've got so many stories to share with you. I know, but you're all getting tired. People, when they ask me, I got lots of doubts. I told them, okay, you got to meet me in the office. And they come to the masjid and talk to me. When they walk in, I say, after Isha is a talk of mine, after the talk we'll sit down. By the time the talk is over, what do you think happens? 50% of that issue is over already. He just needed a dose of spirituality. That's the main thing. You understand what I'm saying? So these doubts and these issues come because shaitan finds an easy place, an easy target is the heart that is disconnected from Allah. When is the last time he prayed salah with jama'ah? When is the last time you sat in a talk and did dhikr? No, he hasn't done that. So all of these things are happening. So that's a very important thing for all the dads and moms and all the youngsters sitting here. Make sure every week you're connected to a gathering of ilm and dhikr. And the third thing is, make sure we have healthy relationships. Amazing relationships between parents and kids and between the siblings themselves. I want to show you a statistic that you can look at the board, you can look up there at the projector screen. I want to show you a statistic that I've been sharing at Jum'ah today. I spoke to you about this. This is from Chicago. I told you this is in Chicago, Atlanta, and Houston. This is a bus stop where people sit and wait for the bus. Okay? Look what that says. You can switch off the light. Maybe one of the lights there, that would be nice. One of the brothers can switch off the light. Okay? Y'all, I'm not going to read it. You guys read it. Alright, yeah. And okay, so this is where people wait to ride the bus. This is from Devon Avenue, the Plymouth Rock of Daisies. Right? Where everyone comes initially in Chicago. Right? Devon Street. This is from there. And this has started a campaign 3 months ago. They're opening up to other cities. I mentioned in Jum'ah, if you weren't here, that this organization was established by 2 people from a Muslim country, from Pakistan. Right? And unfortunately, they've used this platform to promote atheism and leaving the fold of Islam. Let's look at the next slide. This is also from Coding, Pew Research Center, U.S. Study 2018. You can Google it, search and read more about the study. Pew Research Center, U.S. Study 2018. This is a billboard in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Houston, and many other cities. Godless, fearless, ex-Muslim. Right? Nearly 1 in 4 Muslims raised in the U.S. have left Islam. 24%. We don't see this. What we hear is of one brother every week taking shahada on the mic. And we say takbir. And after that, we have no idea what happened to him either. We're not there for him, unfortunately. We're not there for him. The statistics of converts leaving for Islam are staggering. I heard something on between 78 or 76% leave Islam within 3 years. Okay? So that's another issue, because we're not taking care of them. But those who are born Muslims, because of all the issues that I've mentioned in this talk right now, unfortunately we have a mass exodus taking place. Ask ourselves, what are you and I doing to make sure that statistic does not happen within our home? I don't want you to leave the gathering and say, that was an enjoyable evening today we had at the masjid. And no, that doesn't do us any good. You need to sit here right now and think, what steps are you going to take in your own life, now, from tonight, for your own kids, for your grandkids, and for generations, to ensure that statistic doesn't happen in our home. We can't just sit there and look at the picture and say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. That doesn't help. We've got to ensure that we do something about it. And that's why I'm trying to ask you to take action. Some of the things I've been sharing with you, make sure you take back. For example, I'm sure you may have heard a great book by Brother Hamza from the UK called The Divine Reality. Right? Divine Reality. You can purchase it online. Brother Hamza Soros from UK. Google it, search it, purchase it, download the PDF. The Myth of Atheism. So it's a great book, The Divine Reality. He touches about the main 16, 15 issues that youth today are confused about. We should all have it. I'm not saying this is the end all. This is the starter to have a discussion. Every son or daughter in our home should have read through this. And it's a great place to start up conversations and hopefully answer many of the questions that we have. Now going back to my story from Jum'ah, I was born and raised in Chicago, attended an Islamic school, then went over to South Africa to study. And when I came back, I told you that 3 of my best friends, I found them to have left Islam. Those who I went to school with, those I grew up with. 3 of my best friends ended up becoming atheists. And that's what prompted me 15 years ago to make this my life mission, to work on a project of this sort. Not only to raise scholars within America, because everywhere you see masajid are there, people throw money at the masjid. It's like building a doctor's office. You've got granite countertops, you've got great facilities, and the only thing that's missing in that doctor's office is a physician, besides I get everything else. That doctor's office is going to do you no good. The houses of Allah, Islamic centers, require amazing, dynamic scholars who are well versed in their traditional knowledge, as well as know the nuances of the American culture, have a great grasp of the issues that are relevant to us. Then you'll see your Islamic center and your masjid will thrive. Other than that, unfortunately, people gather for Jum'ah, and that's the end of it. So there's a huge lack of that scholarship within America. And so that was one effort I wanted to work on, producing full-fledged programs within this country that people could come, because the borders are closing, and it's not really feasible to continue to send people overseas. We need made in America for America. Right? So that's one of the reasons we wanted to establish DarusSalaam Seminary. And the second thing was that to offer short programs for everyone, all of you sitting here, so that this statistic doesn't become something that we have to see in our homes. And alhamdulillah, to that degree, we started, our seminary, and I will fly through this. These are the programs that we hold at our masjid. Something specifically that you all can benefit from is our annual 3-day retreat, going to be held on the weekend of April 11th, 2 weeks before Ramadan. It's an awesome yearly retreat. It's free. Meals are free. Registration is free. You come and stay in the masjid if you want to, or across the street in a hotel. We have like 15, 16 scholars come on one topic. Like this year's topic possibly will be on the unseen. Right? 15, 16 talks about the unseen. Friday Asr till Sunday Asr. It's a free event for the entire family. We have 1,500 to 2,000 people attend this event every year. So you can attend that program. It's very spiritually uplifting. Another program, of course, is the winter intensive. That's at the bottom. The second thing is our seminary. So we have a full-fledged masjid, and then we have a seminary. The seminary's got the Tanweer Intensive. The Tanweer Intensive is a 1-year program for any high school student before he goes on to college, or before he or she goes on to graduate school, and for those IT, brothers who want to take time off from work. Last year, a few years ago, right, I should say, this year we have an engineer who's doing law school, who's married with a child, who took a year off from work to do the 1-year program. Previous year we had an Egyptian brother, who was also father of 3, working person, resigned from his job to take the 1-year program. Right? Previous year we had a doctor, ER physician, 4 kids, 3 kids. MashaAllah, took off Monday to Friday and took the course and worked on Saturday nights and Friday nights. So every year we see people like this making sacrifices who are elders. And then we have, of course, college students and high school students. What do? We focus on? I'd like you to pick up the flyer from outside, or Brother Said, you can pass it out as well. That is the winter intensive, the 1-year intensive flyer. Keep it there for you, and that details, we focus on Islamic studies and Arabic. So by the end of the year, alhamdulillah, just the 10-year flyers, please. By the end of the year, alhamdulillah, a student who does not know how to spell his name or her name in Arabic is able to understand about 60 to 70% of the Quran within 1 year, within 10 months, 1 academic year. It's an amazing feat, alhamdulillah. I see it all the time with our students. And second thing, we teach them aqidah, fiqh, sirah, tajweed, and tazkiyah. So pretty much they can handle a musalla, they can handle their MSA, they can handle their clinic, they can be a sort, I call them nurse practitioners. They're not physicians, but they're nurse practitioners, right? So that's a program that you can benefit from. We have our 7-year Takmil Institute. Our first batch of 12 scholars graduated this past summer. 12 ulama, 12 scholars who spent 7 years, 60 hours a week with us. Alhamdulillah, graduated. And one of them was from New Jersey, 2 of them were from New York, right? So actually, no, 2 of them from New Jersey, 2 from New York. So alhamdulillah, we've had 12 last year. And then another program is the summer intensive. So we offer a 3-week Arabic intensive and a 3-week Deen intensive. Some of you already got plans for the winter. I advise you to sign up. And inshallah, look at your emails. Right after Ramadan, right around mid-June, we'll be offering our 3-week Arabic intensive and a 3-week Deen intensive. Dear brothers, this is not for us to listen for 1 year and out the other year. A stitch in time saves 9. This year, when the students came to our intensive, I had 111 students in the Deen intensive and 75 students in the Arabic. I had Arabs, I had Desis, I had African Americans, white Americans, we had Malaysians, we had, all the Somalians, Sudanese, everyone. Their kids were crying on the way out. 21-year-olds hugging me and crying to say, these 3 weeks saved my iman. One guy was off to Yale. He said, if I hadn't done this, I don't even know if I would be a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, this program is what cemented my faith. I can now confidently say I know why I'm a Muslim. Right? So why not plan your summers to attend these programs? MashaAllah, we started from the state of Illinois, our student base, and today, alhamdulillah, we've had students from 25 different states. And MashaAllah, we have 350 plus students with 24 different class groups and 40 full-time and part-time instructors. MashaAllah, where are all these classes being held? In 3 classes. Right? All of them. There's a clipboard that's being on the sister side and brother side. Alhamdulillah, please just give your email address and phone. The only thing we're going to be sending, no commercial stuff, is just simply so you get emails of all our programs. So you can listen to them live, or you can register for them and come to Chicago whenever Allah makes it easy for you. That's what's being passed around. So alhamdulillah, brothers, this is a pretty interesting. I know you guys are in a tight location for tonight's event. We have people lined up eating in the lobby. We have Juma in there. Just oh my God, we have really tight. This is where our 7 days a week our classes are held. Funeral preparation room, janazah, where you watch the body. We have classes there. We have under the stairs. We have some taking place inside the elevator. We have in the lobbies, all lobbies. We have in the shoe rack area. We put a chakaya hasir down and we have it there. Literally, you have never seen a place more packed than our place during 7 days a week class time. Alhamdulillah. Right? So that's called barakah. In a small area to be able to do that. So we've got all these classes taking place. You can see some pictures of our facility, our classes taking place in really tight areas. In the lobby here, in the kitchen. This is under the stairs. This is the sisters' prayer hall. That is the stairs where some of the girls sit. This is the funeral room. This is right here is the funeral room. Right? This is where now we moved out the refrigerator for the washing of the body. And we have now made that into a class. These are some of the classrooms as well. This is the girls' library and classroom. This is where we have to serve food every day because of just not having enough space in the kitchen. And so alhamdulillah, the solution to our masjid is, we already have a beautiful masjid, but we needed a space for the seminary. And so the solution was to build a 65,000 square foot campus to accommodate all of our students and an increasing number of students. And to this end, we have this model. The first part, the masjid here, this got built in 2013. And the back part is what we shared with the community, our community, which is not Chicago-based, which is throughout the country. Alhamdulillah, we have students from all over, and we have supporters all over. So we shared them these pictures. What do you guys think about this? And they said, well, what do you guys think? It's something beautiful. And you see all the little kids, I love it when the little kids look at the calendar and say, Papa, this is amazing. Exactly, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear pride. I want to hear happiness, excitement within our generation to say, this is a place where I'm proud to say it's my school, or my university, or my masjid. So this, sisters who are here, brothers who've got wives and daughters, I want you to take a look at this. This entire facility is a masjid where we are doing all our classes. 350 students, 45 teachers. It's a 22,000 square foot masjid. Now the new expansion, this section here with the own dome is the 26,000 square feet dedicated only to women. So it's larger than the entire current masjid. And it's only for girls. It's probably one of the largest, to my knowledge, largest purpose-built women's section, or women's building, out here. And this area here is the boys' building, and this is our cafeteria, 23,000 book research library, and our indoor gymnasium. Alhamdulillah, these are some models of what's going on, a running track inside, an amazing separate fitness center for girls and for boys, a huge, beautiful women's prayer hall with a cry room for moms with kids in a glass see-through room so the moms without kids don't get disturbed, a beautiful research library, a kindergarten, a dining hall, and 22 of these classrooms. Okay, now the last part of it, I'm going to show you the masjid. So this is where all the classes are held, the Hifz classes. We have so far 70 Hafal who graduated, Hafidhas. We've had our 12 students from the high school program graduate. This was the original parking lot, one portion of the parking lot, what you see in front here. You see to the left, the condominiums is where the students stay. Those red roofed area, that's where, of course, we don't own that, but that's where out-of-state students rent their places and stay there. So this beautiful 10-acre campus, Allah Azza wa Jalla gave to us. This beautiful structure is passed by thousands of cars every day. Look at that. Our entrance is from an 8-lane state highway. Look at that on the right side. It's an 8-lane state highway. Thousands of cars are passing by this beautiful structure. Alhamdulillah, one imam in Chicago, in MCC, 45 minutes, 50 minutes from where I am, he told me a lady walked into his office and took the shahada. He asked her, why are you taking the shahada? What led you to Islam? She said, I was driving by on North Avenue, 50 minutes away from home, and I saw this structure, and I wanted to learn what it was. And I found out it was a mosque. And I started learning about Islam, and that's what's led me to Islam. And this is one person who actually I know about. The existing parking lot, we started building the seminary over here. And alhamdulillah, this work started in May 2018, May 8th. May 8th, 2018. That is about 18 or 19 months ago. 18 months ago we got the permit, and you can watch the progress of 18 months worth of work. You're going to wonder what happened to the parking lot. Well, the parking lot, a new one's been created. You can see it in the back there. A new one's been created all the way here to the side. It was grass, it was a soccer field. You can still see it there next to the house. That house is where the school started in 2008 in November. So this is the women's side, then you see the library, beautiful big windows for the library, and then the boys' side. And so this is what we call a national campus because we envision in the next 10 years, small campuses popping up all over the country. Whether they're under DarusSalaam's name or not doesn't make a difference. But our students, inshallah, empowered with what we have given them, will hopefully establish stuff like that. And so this will be the mother campus with hopefully many parallel campuses. This is from the night of 12th of Rabiul Awwal. We have a Sira program, mashallah. Look at these beautiful shots of the whole structure. So now, alhamdulillah, the entire exterior work is done. Right, within 18 months. Snow, Chicago snow there as well. Dear brothers, you know what's the best thing about it? Alhamdulillah, there is no loans. No haram loan, no halal loan. You know what else is great about it? There's no huge multi-million-dollar or $500,000 donation from any one person. What else? There's no foreign money. It's all simple, humble people, youth, adults, people giving 500 a month, 200 a month, 100 a month, 10 a month, 1,000 a month, whatever they can. And they feel that this is something that gives us hope. I gave you a lot of bleak news, but I'm not leaving you with bleak news. I am telling you, alhamdulillah, DarusSalaam is serving those issues, is addressing those issues. If you've got problems, bring them to our seminary. Bring whoever is going through those problems. Bi-idhni ta'ala, we're there to welcome them. We're there to show them love. We're there to answer their questions and attend these programs so that you and all of us can benefit from this beautiful thing. So if you feel that I wish, man, someone was answering these things, alhamdulillah, our team of 40 scholars is working on this. This, inshallah, model is going to open up in, inshallah, end of April. If you come to the annual retreat with your dua, say, inshallah, we are planning to have this place open. So now, your next thing is, please plan your trip to come, bi-idhni ta'ala, in the summer, in the winter time, December 21 to 25, and make a plan, inshallah, to be with us for 5 days. We have, look at this, right? See, this is like from last year. Last year was the first time we ever did this. First time we did the winter intensive. We had 220 students from across the country. We had students who drove over from Harvard because they couldn't afford the tickets by the time they heard about it. We had students who drove from UCLA. Okay, they drove 48 hours to come to the program. We had students from Denver, from Florida, from Texas, from Canada, from Ohio, Iowa, all over the country. It was amazing. So this year I expect it to be even more amazing. Because that was last year, which was the first time we did it. We have 2 programs, one for adults, 15, 16 and above. We're covering fiqh of marriage and divorce. Why am I covering that? Did you hear me say it in Jummah? One of the lawyers in my community, I think I said that. Within the past 3 years, he has handled 800 divorces from the Muslim community. He's 32 years old, 33 years old. He's done 800 divorces from the Muslim community. He's a local Musalli of our masjid. This is a very big problem. So we're going to be doing fiqh of marriage and divorce. We're going to be covering atheism. We're going to be covering the authenticity of hadith. We are going to be covering Islamic holistic health, wellness, mental wellness, emotional wellness, physical wellness, right? By Sheikh Hashim Ahmed. He's going to be doing that program. He's a convert scholar coming from overseas to do this presentation with us. And then we're going to be having a session on disease of the heart and the remedies. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You are in this beautiful sanctuary. Sisters have this beautiful sanctuary. You have food provided there on site. You have all-day snacks, tea, coffee. And then if you have little kids, you've got a babysitting room. We'll take care of your babies for you. And if you've got children from 8 to 14, we have a parallel youth intensive for youth level topics. So we pretty much are trying to cater for the entire family. Alhamdulillah, we have negotiated hotels, $50 for a night across the street from us. $50 for a night. And if you want to sleep in the masjid, do i'tikaf, you can do that as well. So I want to see how many brothers here are interested in inshallah joining us. Raise your hand, just with a show of hands. How many of you are interested in joining? How many of you are interested in joining? Here we got 1 brother, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. MashaAllah. Takbir. Sisters, how many of the sisters are planning to join? Anyone? Anyone, 2 sisters? How about you all brothers, if you can bring your wives, your daughters, your sisters, that would be something amazing. So I suggest if you genuinely want to come, if you're not bluffing, if you really want to come, then you should register for it at the kiosk right here. It takes you literally, like, it'll take you less than 30 seconds to register. Register for it. The cost, you're going to wonder what's the cost of it? For 5 days of classes with food, $75 for the entire program. Is that a lot? And if you can't afford it, marhaba, no problem. I highly doubt someone can afford it, but if it is, no problem. We'll find someone to take care of your expense. So that's $75 for the entire 5 days. We're not here to make money. This is not a business. This is a service to help people. Right? So the only thing we're using this money is to cover our overhead costs of paying the staff, printouts, syllabus, food, and etc. All those obviously costs that are there. So alhamdulillah, I would like you have the kiosk, right? So you have that. Please just register with myself or Brother Saeed. It'll take a second to do that. Second thing, brothers, we've got 5 months left. I would like all of you who listened to me and who thought I spoke to you to please be an investor in what we're doing. This project has reached where it is without us knowing about it. I promise you it will get complete without us being part of it. You know that. So you're going to be part of it for your own good. If you feel like, okay, this is something that we feel is necessary for the community, then give whatever you can. Give $10, give $100, give 1,000, give 10,000, whatever it is. Elders, I'm telling you, alhamdulillah, you can even donate your stocks. You can write it in your bequest. You can write it in your bequest, in your will, that donate a certain amount to DarusSalaam so that will continue to provide you rizq and amazing a'mal with you after you and I are gone. Because this project doesn't end here. I have a vision of, inshallah, of course, besides an endowment fund, to have so many other institutions like this all over the country providing winter intensives, summer intensives, and 1 years all over the country. We can't only have one location in the country. We need a north zone, southeast, northwest, northeast, and that's the goal. That's going to happen with support of people eventually. So make sure we can donate our stock, we can make a donation in our bequest, and on the way out, there's a cash box there, there's a credit card machine here. Give monthly one time, give whatever you feel like, and if you want to give zakat, yes, you can support our students who are not able to pay tuition. So 55% of our students are not able to pay tuition, meaning they don't pay tuition. 55%. That's a huge amount. So what we do, we have find sponsors within the community, and all over say, give your zakat and sponsor a student for a 1-year program, or for a 7-year program. So alhamdulillah, I've given a lot of information for you. I hope my speech was worthy of benefit, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our coming here, sitting here, and I hope Allah puts it on our heart to support what we're doing, attending the winter intensive, bringing the greatness good stuff you get, and bring it and establish here. I hope this masjid and this madrasa over here gets completed as well, that your needs are fulfilled as we're the founders' desires and the needs of theirs also, and this community continues to grow from strength to strength, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. I'll take questions if anyone has, inshallah, the topic that we spoke about, or the programs, or anything of that sort. Do any of the brothers or sisters have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any webinars?
Webinars. I mean, the only thing we have is our seminars. It's not. You could say like a webinar. It's on. Like right now, is one taking place. Right, actually, at DarusSalaam. You can just go to our YouTube channel. It's live. You can see the PowerPoint and you listen to the speech.
No, I mean you can ask questions.
Yeah. So what we do in those things, because it's a huge crowd sitting in front, people are listening online. If it's a technical topic, like a zakat seminar we do every year, very technical topic. So we have our phone number, and we take text message questions throughout the program, and we make sure we answer all of them. So, and even if you don't hear on the speech, we will respond to you over text, the answer. So that 630 number that's on the cards, pick it up. Those of you who want calendars, there's calendars available. Give whatever hadiyah you would like to give for that. It would be much appreciated. Jazakumullah khair. Any other questions? Tomorrow, inshallah, at Fajr Salah, I'm going to be at the MCGP. Is that what's it called? MCGP, Mendez Masjid? MC?
It's in Princeton.
In Princeton. MCGP Masjid for Fajr, which is about 15 minutes away, just in case if you know someone out there. And then tomorrow at Dhuhr, we'll be at MCMC Piscataway. So if you know anyone out there, let them come and benefit from the Dhuhr program at MCMC, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. Jazakumullah khaira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.